been given access to receive messages of clarity, guidance, and love. As channeler, psychotherapist, and author, Noemi Grace has an intimate dialogue with the divine on your behalf. Lisa Berry, creator of the show Light on Living, will be co-hosting as live callers ask their burning question on self-love, self-healing, deepening relationships, areas of struggle, and next steps. By simply listening in, you're receiving wisdom that will lead to sacred stability from every channeled message that Noemi delivers. Join us now as we give you access to angels and grace. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Access to Angels and Grace. We've got Noemi Grace with us here, and I'm Lisa Berry. And Noemi, today, I you know what? We just keep building and building upon each show and the comments and the questions and the answers that are coming up. And today is titled, How to Stop Controlling and Receive More Gifts. And it really does. We're talking about divine timing here, guys. So, Noemi, hello. It's lovely to be here with you today.
Oh, it's lovely to be here. Always one of us seems to have tech issues. This time it's my turn.
I know.
I'm so grateful that I can call in if my computer is not behaving itself. So, but yes.
I thought...
Yeah.
I thought, Noemi, that you were just trying to play a little gambling here with our divine timing and was tricking me going, aha, we're cutting it really close, are you?
No, not at all. But it's just been, it was flaky on Thursday when I was in session, and I forgot all about it. And then it was like, no, let's try the headphones now. Anyway, we're here for divine timing. And
yes.
This topic has just been so relevant. The channeled message that I'm going to read in a bit, it came while I was walking, and then I had to say, okay, let's rewind when I got home. Let's write it because I didn't have anything to write it on. And I've been sort of in my own for my own personal development, talking to the divine about divine guidance, and then this came through, and I was like, awesomeness, it was like so profoundly liberating for me, and really changed the way I'm looking at so many things, because I've been frustrated about. I'm just somebody who's frustrated with time.
Yes.
So there's never, in my lack-based mentality, I would see not enough time, and so I've been learning to be with time. But the piece about divine timing is a new growth for me, because I've been feeling like, okay, how come the timing's not here? Divine said there would be such and such, and it's not happening.
Noemi, you just hit on something huge. I think the number one thing, especially in North America, I'm sure everywhere, like many places, but we are all like, you promised me this in this time frame, like whether it's a project or you're getting your car fixed, or you have an appointment, a schedule, right? And so timing really, my gosh, when we title this, or didn't title it, but we're talking about divine timing, but we have this very human reliance on timing and controlling it. And one of my things which is not about controlling, but yeah, I could actually say this is one of my Lisa Berry lifetime things is don't waste my time. Oh my gosh, it's like that's the biggest one. And that's totally, it's ego, but it's also a shadow of appreciation, because I appreciate time so much, but it's the shadow for me that I want to control it, because I appreciate it so much. So there's the beauty of it. We never talked about this, actually. This is fun. The shadow of the beauty of, so wasting to me is the shadow, and I do need to deal with it. That's why I'm really grateful for for these shows as well, and to lean into divine's timing. And there's something really, really fun in your pre-channeled message.
Yeah. And I want to offer you something.
Okay, please. Thank you. I accept.
Said.
Okay.
When you say, and for me as well, when we both feel like our time is being wasted, what's the gift here? why this is happening. If there's something here for us to glean, there's a gem, there's some gift. What is the gift here? And that for me is the realization that there's a gift in every obstacle has so totally really helped me a lot over the years. And it came from, actually, I'll tell you a funny story. I used to have one of those old-fashioned waterbeds, the big kind of mattress thing with the egg crates inside and the water, and it was hot, and those things would spring a leak at least once, about annually. And here was the leak one time, and so my husband and I, we were having to push the mattress to the side and up and over so we can get under, and
water's heavy.
Dry it up, And in the middle, like right smack dab in the middle of the bed, I found a sapphire ring that my mother had given me. It was the only thing of value that I felt like I had ever lost that was a gift, I've lost things, but not, and I felt so bad about it. And there it was. Somehow I had taken it off, and it had slipped under the I used to take it off at night, slipped under the mattress, and it moved its way all the way to the middle. And so I found this gift, and I realized there's a gift in every obstacle, every challenge, because I was just so frustrated with having to bandage up this bed again and dry it and everything, and I was getting tired of it. And there was this gift. So I always, and I do have another sapphire ring because it was lost again, but for a different reason. I won't go into that one. But for my mother. But it's this gift. I look at it every day and appreciate the gift for my mother. And it's that for me. Just I remember that waterbed incident, and I'm like, the gift. What's the gift here? So when somebody's wasting our time, what's the gift here?
Yes. And you know what's interesting is because I actually can look at my own self. Like I'll start a project. I have so much hope, and I believe I can control the outcome. I have my eye set on the prize, right? I want to go here. That's where I want to go. And so I put my time of work, energy, or interest, compassion, all that good stuff into it. And then it doesn't pan out. And then you think, oh my God, I just wasted my time. Oh my gosh. And so, but I have since then, two things in that. Often I think I wasted my time, and the reason why I can come to that conclusion at the time is I used to think others will judge that I wasted my time, and I didn't want to seem like a failure to others. And then I realized that, well, I don't really care. I had fun doing it. So what do I? So really, it's not about wasting my time. It's more thinking others think I've wasted my time. And then I think, well, yeah, but I don't need to validate. So there's this little mind chatter that goes on, and we have to keep that questioning. But if you'd like me to know, I can read the show description, because I think
that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. We encapsulated a lot. So as people tune in, they're like, wow, there's so much. I feel like we just packed in so much right there. But thank you everybody for tuning in and to listening to the replay if you're not catching us live, because we try to build upon, the last show and then build and build. So today really is about how to stop controlling and receive more gifts. And as I read through this, that question, if you might be asking, why haven't I got it yet? I did everything and it's not happened yet. The universe said that I was going to, I pulled a card. It said, so all those things. So if you're there right now, or you're dealing with Mercury retrograde, here's our show description going into this. So it says so how to stop controlling and receiving more gifts is when ego stops controlling and aligns with your highest self, so much more is available to you. We are accustomed to letting ego try to make things happen. And it has developed the habit of pushing and controlling. But what happens when ego collaborates? We love that word, collaborates with your highest self. Well, it no longer needs to try to force things. And this opens you to receiving many, many gifts. I love this. You receive peace and you trust things will work out. You become intentional, yet allowing. Then you can direct your energy into getting ready for manifestation instead of controlling, and you become receptive to divine timing. We have been taught that divine timing happens in the universe's time frame, but divine timing actually occurs when we become ready. We can spend so much time trying to line everything up that we aren't preparing ourselves for what we most desire. And we aren't making space. Oh, we have some stuff about that. We aren't making space for it in our lives. So when we do prepare, you gotta watch out. That's what I love doing when you said that. Because when we are ready, when we've created space, the universe will respond then. And then we can receive the gifts that Source has lined up for us. Not us, but them. And so today we are talking about this, how to learn to align ego with the highest self more deeply. So, Noemi, there's a lot in there, and we have some goodies. Like little
there's
gifts.
so much. We've been talking about, are you living from your true power source? We've been talking about discerning ego from the highest self or the true self or however you want to call it, the inner being, all of those words to describe that same essence of who we are. So the essence of who we are is not ego, and ego is not the essence of who we are, but we confuse ourselves, we mistake ourselves. It's that face that sometimes that's what the world sees, and that doesn't have to be the face the world sees. But so controlling is such a huge huge thing.
Yes.
I mean, who doesn't like to control things, or who doesn't like things to work out the way they want? And when we want it to work out the way we want, then we're going to try to dive into controlling. And so maybe we'll read my thing after the
I think after the break.
After the break, because I want
After the
to say
break,
something that I got something, and it's a very short one this week. So I got something while walking today on my walk, and I got this mantra.
Oh.
Let it go and be in the flow. And I was, and the thing is, it was different than the usual, because, we let things go into the flow of the flames, into the fire, or into the flow of the water, the dirt that's on us, we let it go. But it's the thing we're hanging on to is preventing us from being in the flow. So we're not it's different than throwing that other thing into the flow and letting it take it away.
Oh.
It is like the flow is here for us, but we are hanging on and to other stuff, mental stuff. A lot of it is mental stuff. A lot of it is emotional stuff. We're hanging on. And the flow is there, so it's kind of like hanging onto a branch by the side of the river. You can't
just
get in the
pictured
river
that.
while you're hanging on. What's that?
I just pictured that. That's what I was picturing. Being in the river, hanging onto the branch, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that.
Yes, exactly. So here you are, toes in the river, hanging onto the branch, and the river's wanting to move you. Move you. Be in the flow. Let the flow take you. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool, because I never saw it that way. It was like, let the flow take it away, but there's a flow here for us. There's that flow of divine grace and divine love and abundance and all kinds of good stuff is flowing.
Yes.
But we're hanging on to the tree at the side of the river. We're getting our toes a little bit wet, and that's it.
Yes. Yeah? You remind me when people say, don't get caught up, like we've been kind of the reverse, right? Like, get your head out of the clouds or the stars, but don't get swept away. That's the word, swept away. Don't get swept away. Don't get carried away. But yes, sometimes, yes, please get swept away, get carried away.
Yes. And I'm seeing right now the leaves starting to fall. So imagine the tree right by the side of the river, and let it go and be in the flow. The leaf goes down, and it's just carried away ever so gently by that flow. Even if it's pretty turbulent, it's pretty gentle on the leaf.
Yes.
Because it's right there at the top of that flow, just dancing with the flow.
There's no resistance is what that is.
Yes, no resistance. That's what it is. Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's what keeps us out of the flow, is that resistance. And hanging on to that branch is a lot of resistance.
Yes. Because it's really interesting when you talk about the word controlling. Resistance falls under that category of control. And
absolutely.
Yeah, like you're literally controlling. No, I am not going that way. I want to go this way, and I'm not willing to see any other gifts any other way. And I mean, yes, we like to have goals and places we're heading, and it's not to be like just meander around, just get just but when things aren't showing up exactly in the timely fashion that you thought, there's a reason. And not like there's a reason, so be okay with it, but look into it further and align.
Yes, yes. and it's so aligned with the pre-channeled message because it talks about how to become ready for manifestation, how to become ready for that divine timing. And so let it go is part of that. That flow, that divine timing is like the flow of that divine, those divine manifestations, all the manifestations is there. And the timing happens. If we don't let go, timing isn't going to happen. And then we're frustrated. Like, why isn't this happening? But I have to hang on to this, So,
yes.
yeah.
You know what's funny? This is such a big topic, and we cover quite a few, especially after once we get this beautiful message. We're really building up some anticipation here for this mini pre-channeled message after the commercial break. But, when it comes to that, I like the word control is really coming up for me, I think, today, because we have expectations. We set things on the calendar, like at this age, this is going to happen, or I'm going to put this much work or invest this much money, and this is going to be my return. And I think the reason why we are so obsessed with timing, it's actually on the return. What's the value in this? So now we're asking, hopefully we're asking to shift the perspective in the value.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Wow. Well, that is something really wonderful to contemplate as we go to commercial. Is like shift the perspective. What was the perspective and the value? Is that what you said?
Yes. Controlling is actually more about that. Yeah, we're gonna have to visit that. But
I like that. That could be a whole show.
Perhaps it shall be. Well, you see, we let go and then we have a new show idea. So come on back, guys, to Access to Angels and Grace. We'll hit the commercial. When we come back, Noemi's going to read her pre-channeled message, and then we'll go into Ask Source and the Divine, some beautiful questions around it.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
This is Kathy Beal, host of Celestial Compass, featuring astrology you can use. Celestial Compass points you to what's going on in the sky and what you can do with it down here on Earth. We also explore fun, effective, and cosmic tools for navigating this adventure we call life. Join me the first and third Monday of the month at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for Celestial Compass. It's enlightening, entertaining, and empowering.
My loves, you know you're here as a soul-led leader to transform this world through the sharing of your passions and gifts. You are here to be in your warrior of light and align your business with your highest self. I'm Rosalind Fung of the show Activate Your Soulgasmic Business. Let's elevate your business to the next expansive level. I invite you to flow into a business soul alignment discovery call with me at rosalindfung.com. That's ROSALYN, fun as in have some fun, FUNG, and let's see how I can best hold space for you to align your highest self, magnetize your dream clients, and monetize on your soul mission. I can't wait to connect.
Coping-19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
Do you feel like your emotions are all over the place? That's normal during this abnormal time. There are a number of ways to cope. Maintain a healthy routine, get enough sleep, eat nutritious food, and exercise at least 30 minutes each day. Schedule some time to talk with a friend or family member. And remember, you can always take a few deep breaths to feel more centered.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. We love showing up. We love all the work. I should say work, but you know what I mean. The prep. We love preparing for this show, which we will be talking about preparing. But we really do love that. Yeah, a lot goes on in between, and it's just it feels like this. Like you've been waiting to go to the amusement park, and then yippee, we're here.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I mean, it is so much fun because, if you're listening, you can see that we're having fun. And we invite you into the joy of whatever we're talking about. We tap into that joy that's always available when Lisa and I come together. And we talk between the shows to come up with the topics and the outlines. And then I sit with the divine to receive that message that's going to be the starting point for our discussion. Prior to, and Lisa calls it the pre-channeled message. So
I love that.
There is preparation, but that also allows the topic to build, and it allows the topic to show up in your life, Lisa, and mine. Because it's all part of this flow. It's all part of the show. We are experiencing what we are talking about. It is showing up in our lives, and we are stepping more and more into the gifts of everything that we share with all you listeners. So it is a gift for us to do this. It's not just, let's talk about something we know how to talk about and we can just impromptu.
Yeah, we learn and grow.
A lot of it is unscripted, but we sit with that. We sit with the essence of what we're going to talk about. And I channel, and Lisa does her own sitting with it and gestating, and it's then when we come here, it's it's already baked, and then we can do the icing on the cake and stuff.
I love that.
So we have our cake. Here we go.
Yes. Oh, I'm going to mute myself so we can enjoy completely here. Oh.
Okay. Become ready for divine timing. Divine timing is a misnomer. What you call divine timing is actually divine movement in human timing. Many of you have been told that when things happen is up to the universe, and this is only partially true. The when is not up to us. It is actually up to you. To say that we control when things manifest in your life is to see us as a capricious being that gives when we feel like it and withholds when we don't. And this is inaccurate. You actually control the when in many ways because you have the power to accelerate or decelerate the timing of when things happen for you. Things manifest when you are ready and not before. You must become ready, and readiness has two parts. First, you must become a vibrational match for what you desire. You must be energetically compatible with what you desire. If you desire financial abundance, for example, but frequently focus on what you think is lacking in your life, you delay the process of manifestation. To speed up the manifestation, first learn to appreciate the abundance that's already in your life. If you desire an incredible relationship, first enjoy the relationship you do have and bring love and positivity to those you care about. This is the first step in becoming ready to become compatible with what you desire. And the second equally important step is to make space in your life for what you desire. If you desire more friends or to be of greater service, but you work many long hours and you're often exhausted, you have no space for anything different in your life. And we would be remiss in adding more to your life if your life is already too full. Yet at times we do bring things that rock your world so you can pause and reflect and change course if needed. You must both be compatible with what you desire and create space for it in your life, like parents who are eagerly expecting their first child. They eagerly anticipate the birth, and they create space in their hearts and homes for their beautiful child. Be like the eagerly expecting parents. You too must eagerly anticipate and prepare for your desired manifestation. In this way, you become a match for what you desire, and you create space in your heart and life for more to manifest. As always, We delight to assist you in this process, and we are complete in this moment, yet ever expanding. Namaste.
And Noemi, if you could expand on your personal thing about the whole preparing and preparation, because you really felt that strong analogy to parents and such, first-time parents.
Well, I felt the strong, when the second, I've been listening to the law of attraction and things for a while, so to Abraham and others, and so I understand about this part about becoming compatible with what I desire. I understand that vibrational match piece, but I've been a little bit from time to time, sometimes a little bit, sometimes more, frustrated with the speed at which certain things that the divine and I have talked about have been manifesting or not yet manifested. And that piece about the space, having space in your life and in your heart, as if you were welcoming this newborn precious being that you wouldn't, parents wouldn't have no crib or bassinet, no place for the baby to sleep, no clothes, no food. It would, all of that is something they're happy to provide. And, even painting the room and setting it up with all baby stuff, and it just brings so much joy. And so the preparation is filled with joy, if we allow it. If we are remembering why we're doing this, why am I creating space in my life for this? Why am I opening myself to something? Because this that I desire will bring me joy in the future. If I'm like that newborn parent, I will experience the joy right now as I get ready.
I love that. I love the getting ready. I think that a lot of people, yes, it's fantastic to be spontaneous and surprised and all those things, but there is this joy, as you said, in making space and getting ready. And it actually helps and it gets momentum building on the things to line up. And something that just came to mind when you were saying that about preparing for, first time parents, like really first time, like, wow, we've got to like rock our world here or flip it around and get ready. But, I think even a lot people will connect with this one is moving. So let's just say you think I'd like to buy a different house, get to a different place, but you've got so much stuff around you that it would hold you back because you think, I'm not ready to move. I've got so much stuff. I don't want to pack this up and bring it with me, but I need to go through it. Or, I go through this all the time because I'm surrounded by things that I've had to pack and unpack. And I'm like, oh my God, just get one box at a time here. And as you make space and you can start allowing the next new thing that you want to manifest or receive as a gift or that you're ready for, you literally have to get ready for it.
And I can feel the joy as you talk, and yes, we have to get ready. And so, right. So say first-time home buyers, they're probably, even though they have an apartment full of stuff, or maybe have been renting a house, more joyful about getting stuff in order to move than somebody who's downsizing. Say, people whose kids are out of the house now, and so they're empty nested, and they're going to downsize, and they have all this stuff. Finding that joy in that preparation, and I think is so important. What is our, as we're anticipating something wonderful coming into our life, do we find that joy now, or are we deferring the joy until wonderful shows up? And
deferring the joy. Ooh,
yeah, so that's why I love that example about the parents, because they're not deferring the joy. They're already. I've seen so many people preparing for their first one and excited and
yes.
Painting and having little borders and little stencils and this and that and mobiles and everything, and it's just everything is lighting them up in that preparation.
It is that preparation. And so in that preparing and in that making space, if you think of things that are, if you think of a desk, a table or something with a lot of stuff on it, and it's just all over the place, like just there's no order to it. It's not lined up, but then you suddenly go, you know what? I just need to put a little bit of order to this. I need to line things up, put this in this pile, tuck this over here. This goes into this little bin. Then guess what you have? You have space where you can now put this new thing, this thing, this new experience, this new item, and there's room for it. So when we're talking about aligning the ego with our highest self, with our soul, with those things, I think this is where the question's it can feel it bubbling up here from people.
Right.
Like going, all right, so they're saying, okay, so I can imagine people feeling chaotic or messy. Yeah, there's my word, messy. Disorganized. Yes, that's what it is. It's a feeling of disorganization, of messiness, of, no, I can't see how this thing lines up with this. So their ego is trying to control, going, no, not over there, but I don't know where. So, but not over there, you know? So that question, I think that we need a little bit more expansion on from Source would be, because Noemi is going to channel some beautiful questions for us here, is if we're feeling messy, disorganized, but panicked control, I must control this because it's just going to get messier. How can we really support a clean and tidy alignment that doesn't feel like loss or even more control, but keeping it flowing? How can we keep the alignment in a process of flow while inviting this preparational time? Is that a word? Preparational?
The flow, yes, right?
The flow.
Let it go and stay in the flow.
Yeah.
Go with
and
that, you know.
And invite the
And
ego
be in
to
the flow. Yeah.
Yeah, and more specifically on the ego, because we are talking about we're feeling messy and unorganized, and so control is coming into the picture, which means ego. So if we could have some supportive words for the ego on how to still maintain your anticipation and orderly thing, but with the flow.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Do you guys have time? Talking to the divine. They always have time. Okay, we're going to dive into a short one.
We can push commercial
and,
for a minute or two as well if we need it. Yes.
Probably a minute or two. Probably two. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So if you're listening for the first time, take a moment, grab a swig of water, and I'm going to take a moment to deepen the connection with the divine and greet them and turn it over to them. And I don't know what they're going to say, but it's going to be good.
Noemi is going into the flow, as we would say. Just letting go.
Letting go. Hello, Divine. Just so looking forward to hearing what you have to say about how we can support our ego and to let go, but to be in collaboration with the true self, with the highest self, when it is clutching to control. So love to hear what you have to say and appreciate that. And we are grateful for this question, and we love to answer this question because, yes, the ego does clutch onto control. And the ego has a hard time trusting. Its trust has been betrayed many times, and it perceives that its trust has been betrayed many times. And so it has a hard time trusting. It feels urgently the need to be actively involved in everything, to let something unfold is foreign, is alien for the ego. And so love your ego is the first thing. So many of you will be dismissive of your ego, or will diss your ego, or will have disdain for your ego. Let the ego have love. Love the ego. Let it be loved. And a loved ego is so much more at ease than an ego that has been denied love. And so it is so easy for those of you who start to recognize that you are not your ego to then have that disdain, have that rejection of the ego, embrace the ego. It is of service to you in some level. And we encourage you to be learning how to have the ego be of service at the highest level. And to do so, you must love the ego. Without love, the ego will come from wound. In love, the ego can let go of its tight clutches to the wound, to the agenda, to so many things. So recognize, the ego is panicked, the ego is wounded, the ego is needy. And what it needs most is love, just like you. Love the ego, and then sit and have a conversation with that part of you that you call ego, and talk about what is it that you're trying to accomplish here? What is it that you desire to accomplish? What is your highest goal? And enlist the service of the ego. Enlist ego in service to that goal. Include ego as a partner, as a business partner, as a life partner. It is there with you. Include it. It is so common that one either lives life as ego, walking through life in without any understanding that you are beyond ego, that you are more than ego. It is not that you are beyond in a way like, oh, I'm beyond that, but in a way of that you are more than that part of you. You are magnificent beings, and ego is a necessary portion of that. So you either go through life fully presenting as ego, or fully pushing away the ego for those on the spiritual path. And we say, ally with your ego. Let it talk and let it come to an agreement with your deepest, truest, highest self, the soul of you, the depth of you, the essence of you. Ego and essence together is a beautiful union. Ego and essence together can accomplish so much. Ego will be an appreciation of who you are as your essence, if you will be an appreciation of ego. Ego needs appreciation. It is doing its best, the best that it knows for you. And when it is trying to control and in panic, it needs love, it needs acceptance, and it needs to be sat with and listened to and shared with. And just as you would do with a friend that is experiencing the same things, you would do the same for them. You would sit with them. You would care enough for them to listen to them and come together and offer suggestions and come and develop a plan. And so love your ego, see the value that it has, but recognize when it's hurting and stop. When you are hurting, your ego is hurting. When you are feeling things are out of control or you are out of control, your ego is feeling that. Learn to identify and recognize where you are and where the ego is, and come back together in partnership. Be willing to return into a partnership. Start in partnership, and as things progress, if the partnership starts to either dissolve or there's distance there, sit, take a break, take time out from the doing and be with the ego. Recognizing this awareness would make a huge difference in your life, and you will be able to be at ease in doing so many things that are challenging now, and you will invite grace to come and bless all of your doings. We are so grateful for this question, and we are always giving our divine grace in great love. We are complete in this moment. Namaste. Wow, 2 minutes.
That was beautiful. Well,
That
I
was
got
so
some.
sweet.
Yes, very loving of the ego and supportive. And so when we come back from commercial, I'm going to share my highlight reel.
Yes. I would
That's
love
funny.
to hear it, because I write down your highlights.
Yes, they're beautiful. So come on back after the break. We've got some highlight reels from the divine, and we'll figure out how this whole divine timing thing works. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. 2 minutes.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Consistently attract soulmate clients, begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalind Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spot that activates your soulgasmic business by tuning in on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Mountain. Join me for your light language activation and let's magnetize and monetize.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Aw, well, I'm so glad to be here with you, Noemi. Aw.
As am I. As am I. So, such a gift to do this show. It's a gift for us. It is huge. Hugely
It is.
blessing.
It has all these, even during the commercials, I think, oh my gosh, so first of all, I'm enjoying the commercials. And then I think, oh, because the cat one just reminded me about timing and how many people say about, it wasn't their time, or they're not happy with the universe's time about things like, just really like, but I wasn't ready. And so when things happen, I'm just going to jump on this one for a second. When things happen, you are ready, because it's just a matter of inviting. I love this one thing that I picked up from the channeled message that you just gave, was when ego and essence together can accomplish so much. And so sometimes when we're sad about things that we think timing wasn't fair, and we're not happy with it, we're like, no, that wasn't right. Maybe lost a loved one too soon, you feel. That could be the ego really sneaking in and controlling. But what you're asking at this point, where I love to say, clutching onto control is what ego will do until it's heard, until, we don't want to. I laughed when you said diss, because I never really thought about how when you diss someone, it means dismissive. I've never thought of that before. And I went, oh my gosh, that's what that means. Actually, I know what it means, but I didn't know where it came from. So that was,
I think, disdain and dismiss and diss.
Yes, you're dissing someone. So we often will diss the ego. And what happens if what that might look like is showing up and stomping your feet and saying, that's not fair. I wasn't ready. This isn't supposed to happen this way. When really, when we have that conversation with ego, we'll find out that, well, in fact, we are ready. We need to call in the ego as our ally and help and ask it to help us.
Ego as ally.
Yeah. Call the ego into service was another goodie there, because it's because it can disserve us, be of disservice, or it can be a service. So it is being of disservice when your ego tells you that you were not ready for something, and that you are not yet ready. That is of disservice. If you lean into and ask the ego to please be supportive, please help me, let me hear you. What is it? What are you saying? That you're saying, okay, I'm sad. I'm sad that I've lost this. I'm sad it didn't turn out the way I thought or wanted. However, then there's a deeper conversation from there.
Yeah. So just that awareness. While I am aware that I'm not my ego, and I can spot usually the wounded part of, the wounded nature of the ego when it shows up, that sort of partnership, like you and I have a partnership. And so that partnership with ego in terms of, okay, this is, let's get on the same page here. Let's be allies. It's not always in my awareness to do that. Rarely in my awareness to do that. I usually recognize ego needs attention because I'm feeling that grasping, the clutching, the controlling, the manipulation, the this overwhelm, that certain attributes that I associate with the wound in the ego. I'm recognizing those, and so that's when I start to recognize and then realize, oh, ego, but I haven't necessarily thought about that partnership until things are not going well, So.
Yes. You know what's really funny when you think about a little child who is extremely, finally is just now throwing a complete temper tantrum at you, or being mischievous. I can't say the word. Mischievous? That word. We would say being bad. And trying to get attention, because that's exactly what the child is trying to do. That's what the ego is trying to do. I need attention, please. And so I just wrote this down. When ego needs attention, when it's wounded, when it is not in partnership, it's going to do everything it can to control. And then we say, oh, I love this. This is so beautiful. It's coming up so clear now. It's funny.
Well, but it's needy, but it also wants to be in partnership, I think. That's sort of the essence. We can ask that, actually, or whatever.
I think that,
or some other question. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe the ego wants to be in partnership. I had never considered that.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Here's the question. I have it so super clear if you're ready, because this is what it is. Okay. How can we enter in partnership with ego as opposed to enabling it?
Ooh, I love it. I'm ready to go. Ego.
It's very different, but enabling it is giving it the cookie, letting it stay out late, letting it go to bed on. No.
Yeah.
We want a partnership with it.
Awesome. This is a great one. So let's dive in and see what the divine has and in store for us, because it feels really good. This question feels like this so much. So I'm just going to turn it right over to you, divine, and just go for it. And we are pleased to go for it. This is a great question. We love this question because it acknowledges the benefits of the partnership. It acknowledges how you now are seeing ego in a new light. You're seeing ego as part of you, not as apart from you or separate from you or wishing something you wish would be separate from you. It is a part of you that has great value. And so value all of you, including your ego. So many of you do not value certain parts of yourself. And many of those are aspects of ego, but not necessarily. Some people don't value their height or weight. They don't value so many things. And we're saying value all of you. Perhaps you see that you could be better. Okay, but value where you are. Value you, all of you. Any part of you that is rejected, that is abandoned, that is dismissed is going to be hurting, because you were born to be whole. You were born to be one, to become one within yourself and then one with us, your source. And so to be in partnership, you must value. When you do not value, even if you have a business partner and you do not value them, that is not the kind of partnership that we are referring to. Yes, you may have a legal partnership on paper, or you are attached at the hip to the ego and you feel that you have this partnership but you don't want it. We're saying desire the partnership. Start to see the benefits to you of partnership and to ego. So much of what hurts will not hurt if you are in partnership with ego. So many of the wounds that you experience over and over and over again will not hurt, because ego will not be so triggered. Ego will not be so hurt and wounded and feeling pain. Being in that partnership with all of you, your entire self, being together with those parts, those voices of the small child, the voices of the older person, all that is you. The experiences of the child, the recent experiences, bring all of that with you everywhere you go. And you do not need to be aware of every single part, but bring it with you. Bring all of you. Invite all of you into the moment, into the present moment, fully as yourself. Fully. We give you permission to be fully you in every moment. Do you give yourself permission? so often you don't give yourself permission to partner with the ego, to even be aware of the ego, to speak up, to have a voice, to be your unique self. You want to conform. You want to not disappoint others. You are so focused on being something that you are not instead of being fully you. And so when you focus on being fully you, ego is part of that. It is not something separate from you. It is an aspect of you that tends to control you in your life if you do not include it and as one, as a part of who you are, including it as part of that oneness of you. And so we say to you, open up to all of you. Be willing to be all of you. And yes, have an awareness of ego as good. Having an awareness of ego as good. It is good to have the awareness that ego is good, but has been wounded, and it will ask for attention if it is not included. If you dismiss it, if you ignore it, it will ask for attention. So invite it in and invite all of you. Invite your voice, invite your strength, invite your softness, invite your sweetness, invite your power, invite all, every aspect. Here, now, every day, seek to be more of you. Today, I desire to be more of me than I was yesterday. Today, I invite all of me to come together in one me and share together, not as many disparate voices, but together as harmonious, and to learn to live that way. There is so much more we could say, but we are aware of the timing, and we love you so much. We are in great love every moment, every day, eternally in love with you. Namaste.
Whew. Aw, so lovely. I have a whole new perspective with ego.
It's too. There was some yummy stuff that I don't remember. What's your highlight reel?
Okay, I do have quite a few. I'm going to run through them really quickly because I know everything, but I did begin with acknowledge the benefits of the partnership. This is between ego and self. And ego is not separate and shouldn't be wished to be separated from. It is valuable. The parts that are rejected, abandoned, they're hurting. And so we want to value. I love this part that said, I wrote, value your partnership beyond legalities and contracts and highlighted things. I love this one. A desired partnership is when you see the benefits. Oh, that one's it just makes me so happy. And to ask that question, what are the benefits of the partnership? I think if we begin there, what are the benefits of the partnership between my ego and my essence, my true self? And when you can just have one, what could be? When has your ego stepped in and saved you, protected you? And if we can start there, whether it's going to be endless, and you can always tune in and just kind of talk to the ego. Yes. Oh, that was so beautiful.
Yes, I got the impression, sort of like maybe the youngest child, not being included in some games, and you're too little, and you sort of kind of ignoring the ego, kind of excluding it in that kind of way, as we might exclude a younger family member, and how it feels bad, just like the younger family member would feel. And it feels bad to be excluded, and wants
without
to be
understanding.
Seen. Yes, and wants to be seen for who it is. And they're talking about bring your voice. The divine said, bring your voice, bring all of you, including the ego.
Yes. And the thing about the enabling aspect, I just wanted to say, let's just say there's two children. One is 5 and one's 13. So there's going to be a height difference here, and the taller one can go on this ride. But the little one cannot go on the ride, but it's for its own safety. So we don't just say, you're too little, you can't go on that ride. You just say, you know what? This isn't safe for you, but when you get bigger, but you can go on it, and you can also go on this one versus this one. So that's the partnership. That's the not enabling, going or not dismissing it, but it is an understanding and a conversation.
Yeah. And I liked how they didn't even go into the enabling piece at all. It was all about love your ego. Don't exclude it from love. Love it. It is here. It's part of you. And it has gifts, and it has benefits, and it wants to be connected with all of you, the rest of you.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's really sweet. Really sweet.
Aw. And all of our listeners, that's actually how divine timing works. You're ready when you have this beautiful partnership between ego and essence. And that's the most beautiful way. It's not about the preparing in the space is about aligning. It's not about more mantras, affirmations. That it's really truly quite a partnership. Divine timing is about a partnership. It's not human. It's divine movement, not human timing. I love that full circle.
Yes, that divine movement, right? It's a dance. That movement is a dance. And so, you can dance by yourself. You could be at a wedding or something and dance by yourself on the dance floor. But when you have a dance partner, it's just so much more fun. And, slow dancing by yourself really doesn't work that great. So.
That's right. Well, I'm just so happy to be dancing with you through Access to Angels and Grace, Noemi.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
I love this dance. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Come back in 2 weeks on October 11th and for more juice, more essence.
Aw, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Noemi. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.